problems of indefinite detention in the future. But I think I've overstayed my time, so I will yield the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Fidell?
Right. I'm going to talk quickly here and give kind of a Tom Stoppard version of some thoughts on this subject. Let me begin by commending the Constitution Project and Ginny and Mason and also the Cravath firm for its generous support of this program. It's leadership that everyone expects of a firm with that distinction. I want to do two things. First, I want to curse the darkness. And second, I want to try at least to light a candle. I'll do the darkness part first. We have a serious problem that I describe as Guantanamo fatigue. Our country is tired. I won't say sick and tired. It's not particularly sick about this subject. It's simply tired of this subject. And the kind of energy that our society is capable of exerting is no longer being exerted on this subject, if indeed it ever was. No, I'm not going to compare this subject and our society and how we're grappling with this to Tahrir Square or Pearl Square or or Tripoli. But the fact of the matter is that people either never got worked up about this, or if they got worked up over it, they're no longer worked up over it. I'm simply observing. The reasons for this are you can get psyched up over something for only so long. There's a finite news hole in the dying media. And there are many other things, whether it's public employees in Wisconsin or the latest reality shows that compete for and get the attention of the media. Okay, enough about cursing the darkness. The question is, what do you do with that? Do you say, well, let's move on. Let's recognize, no pun intended there, but do you simply acknowledge the political reality, or do you adopt a more irredentist approach saying this or that is wrong and we're simply not going to embrace it as an inevitable fact of the political life of the country? Last Friday, there was a panel at the Washington College of Law that the National Institute of Military Justice co-sponsored, and one of the speakers was Professor Jack Goldsmith from the Harvard Law School. And basically his take was, it is what it is politically. I'm going to respectfully, if he were here, I would be saying the same thing. I'm going to respectfully disagree with that. I don't think we should, as a profession and as a society, be saying it is what it is, simply because the Congress of the United States, in its infinite wisdom, has turned the President of the United States into a sort of Gulliver, being pinned down. You all know the image, being tied down in ways that I think threaten the separation of powers. After all, it is the President's job to take care that the laws are enforced. Can a president do that if his hands are tied as to who's going to be prosecuted in what form? So that's simply a thought on the question of whether we should be fatalistic or whether we should be irredentist, or at least not treat the current situation as a fait accompli. My second observation, or set of observations, has to do with what happens now. First, I want to at least mention, and it's not really the subject of the debate or discussion today, but let us at least remember that we have some unfinished business in terms of accountability. It's very ironic. The whole business about trying terrorists, you're going to try them here, there, not at all, you're going to hold them or not, has to do with accountability for terrorism. However, we also have a bill to pay in terms of misconduct by United States government employees. That's all I want to say on that subject. That is unfinished business. Now let me try to light a candle. This is not, now the good news. It's simply more work that we have to do. Let's talk for a second about the executive order. I don't know what's going to be in the executive order. And, you know, probably there'll be another panel once it's out. However, there are some things that the administration could do that have not yet been discussed. On January 21st of 2009, President Obama issued a memorandum on transparency and open government. Anybody remember that? He said transparency promotes accountability, that word again, and provides information for citizens about what their government is doing. I won't go on with the quote, but you all remember there was some hubbub. It was a big deal that he issued something about FOIA the same day. Maybe those things that the president said the day after Inauguration Day are pertinent to the conversation that we ought to be having now about the executive order. What is it that prevents the administration from issuing the executive order in proposed form and allowing people to comment on it? Well, you might say, but that's an executive order. They never get issued in proposed form. That is untrue. In the area of military justice, the administrations of both parties have done that since 1980. It's easy. And how much delay does it entail? You could do it. You could have a month-long comment period. You could have a 2-week comment period. But there's a way that you could do that. What would be the advantage of having an open process leading to that very important executive order? Number one, the administration might learn some things that it might not otherwise sort out. Number two, it might contribute to public confidence in the administration of justice. After all, that's why we have notice and comment rulemaking. In addition to notice and comment rulemaking on the executive order, what harm would it do to convene a town hall type public hearing, presided over, let's say, by the General Counsel of the Pentagon? He's going to be at the Association of the Bar tonight. Why not? Let people come. Let people, you know, express themselves. I think that kind of thing would go a long way towards opening the discussion a little bit and opening the alternatives instead of forcing us to simply accept and, you know, sort of go back in our cave or applaud. I also think that the administration should release any comments that it has received on this. It should have a rulemaking docket instead of doing this kind of important business in secret. Unfortunately, this administration is no better than its predecessor in terms of opening the windows and pulling up the shades a little bit on who gets to influence them on these important matters. My organization sued the Pentagon under the Bush administration because the administration refused to release the comments that Rumsfeld got from 10 of his friends on the rules for military commissions. Well, funny thing. And we lost that, by the way, 2-1 in the D.C. Circuit. To his credit, David Tatel dissented. We renewed that request under the current administration. Held, get lost. Okay? We have a current request for the comments that were received in connection with the Manual for Military Commissions, which is the document as thick as the Bronx Telephone Directory that governs military commissions. The Pentagon disregarded our request. We should sue them for that too. But we shouldn't have to sue them. Let me wind up there, just some food for thought. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Fidell. Ambassador Soderberg.